All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining the Digital Collective here today, where we are joined with Anna Patricia, and she is going to be going over how to gain clarity and confidence in your business. She's a certified business coach, and you guys, she is fire. She is fellow Canadian because I'm BC. She's over in Montreal. And yeah, we're just so excited to have you here today, Anna, and share your wisdom. This really is going to be so applicable whether you are brand new, maybe you're just diving in and learning how to, grow your business. Maybe you haven't even decided what you're going to do. You're looking for that clarity. Maybe you're halfway. You're kind of getting your feet wet, or maybe you're, already a veteran, but you're wanting to grow and scale. I really feel like no matter where you're at in this journey, you're going to take away some mega gold. Anna's going to drop it today. I'm so excited. If you are watching live, let us know. If you're watching the replay, let us know where you're tuning in from, and let's dive in.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I always love, to give value and share my stories and connect with other amazing women. So, yeah, like you said, my name is Anna. I'm a certified business coach. My mission is to help ambitious women gain clarity, gain confidence, so they can really start and grow their online business from a place of alignment and passion. And I love to help my clients just, truly step into that powerful leader space and identity and do it without burning out, without confusion, without stress, and truly loving what they're doing and loving serving. And yeah, I help them go to 5K months through social media, personal branding, and mindset. And yeah, I've been doing this for a little while now. So I've learned a lot. I've invested in a lot in coaches and mentors. And I feel like I got something from each and every mentor I've worked with. And yeah, I came up with my own frameworks, my own programs, and it's just been incredible. So yeah, I'm excited for today.
That's so great. Honestly, it's amazing. Like when you first start having those bigger months,
Yes.
um, it just feels like surreal. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing this. I'm making my own money. I am my own boss. Like it is so possible. 5K, 10K, 20K, like it just grows. Like as soon as you start reaching those bigger months, you realize like my potential is unlimited. So really what you can do, it's all the same process really
Mhm.
with getting to those bigger months. It's
Mhm.
just about that consistency and that belief in yourself, and
Mhm.
looking to mentors and like yourself and like here at
Yes.
TC, and really just taking in the value and implementing it. So thank you
Yes.
so much for hitting those pieces, because yeah, I just feel like it really is possible no matter what business you're in, what you're doing, to get
Yes.
those big months. And it's
Yes.
so exciting when you do finally reach those ones, because then
Oh my
you can
gosh.
keep going.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I always say, like it's not an easy thing to do. Like nothing you do is going to be easy. It's just a matter of reminding yourself why you started this, why is this important for you, getting the support, and like you said, implementing, trying again, shifting, trying again. It's a lot of trial and error until you find that one, specific strategy or specific way of showing up that lights you up, and then
Yes.
continuing to do that over and over again.
Oh, that's so amazing. Okay, so let's dive into, I guess first maybe probably gaining some clarity, would you say? Some tips on how, business owners can be doing that.
Yes. So clarity is like the first pillar of my framework, actually, because it's so important to know what we desire to accomplish, who we desire to help, how we're going to help them, and why we want to help them. So it's like asking ourselves all these foundational questions in order to get that clarity, because having those pieces of information will help us truly select the strategy, select the framework, decide how we're actually going to build this. But if the foundation is shaky and there's leaks everywhere and we're not sure, that creates confusion, and then people will be confused as well. So it all comes down to clarity, and it's so important, depending on where you're at right now, which stages you're at in. Like it's important to know, the biggest thing I think is knowing ourselves first, what we desire to accomplish, where we desire to go, and then it's looking at who we desire to help, why we desire to help them, and bringing in our experiences or background, or certifications and all of that into the mix, but also what we're passionate about. So I like this whole journey of helping my clients figuring out all these different pieces, because you see it in their eyes when they're like, oh, like I haven't thought about this, I haven't thought about that, let me add this. And you can just see the magic happening in real time, and they're like, wow, like I even like this is incredible. Like all of these answers are already inside of you. It's just someone there to help you get them out and into paper, and let's go, let's do it, let's roll.
Yes, I totally agree. I think, having support and, not going about it on your own. And we always recommend, look into coaching, look into programs, look into something that's going to help keep you accountable. But for those people that are just like, I can't commit to that right now, but I do want to start on the journey of finding clarity and purpose, what would be maybe some, like a couple of little things that they can get started today? They can go and take action to gain some more clarity.
The first thing that comes to my mind is to join Facebook groups. Like there's so many Facebook groups out there, like even in my group, like everything I do in my group is totally like I just give value for free. Like I'm a huge advocate in giving lots of value and giving like quick wins to people, so they're like, wow, like this is amazing, I want to learn more. And since I was giving so much value already, I decided to start my podcast a year ago, and I'm repurposing all this value in my podcast. So I'm like in different ways that people can like tune in and listen and just get that value and start implementing. So there's so many ways you can find free value, free communities to support you in those initial steps for sure.
Okay, so first of all, what is your podcast? We're gonna all have to go check it out.
Yeah, it's called the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. It's everywhere on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the major places.
Great. Awesome. Okay. And so in gaining the clarity, soaking up some value and kind of if someone is getting started, or maybe they're just starting to doubt where they're at in their niche and whatnot. And we do have training inside this group on niche marketing. If you want to go and learn more about that, anyone who's watching that's like, what's a niche? You need one. So definitely start, because that'll help you get some clarity, as you can't just fish in an entire sea and expect to catch everything. You got to be fishing in a pond with your type of fish that you're going to love. So it's really important to gain that. But I find, and I've had this happen to me before too, where I question, like, is this really the niche that I'm supposed to be, a niche niche? What is like the big debate of online space? How do you say it? So if someone was struggling with either where to start or questioning, again, like how is it that someone could maybe to gather some more clarity in and around what's really good? It's like, because you said get to know yourself, right? So, because I think a lot of people think, oh, I want to go for that niche because I know that it pays well, or it looks like it would be good, or it matches with my product, but it doesn't match with them and who they are. So, and I'm sure you've got some, some insights around how to match that, your niche, how you got to make money, but with your purpose and with your heart.
Yes, I love that question so much. So it's funny you say this, because I actually switched niches 3 times.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I wouldn't have gone to the second niche if I didn't start with one niche to begin with. And I wouldn't gone to my third and last niche if I didn't switch to the second niche. So the point is, start somewhere.
Love that. Yes.
Start somewhere, pick one thing, run with it for like a few months, see how you like it, how you feel about it, what type of feedback you get from it, if you love it, if you're in it. Because if you don't try, you're never going to know what truly speaks to you. So I'm a big advocate in like just going for it, because if you dwell about it, if you're like confused, you're not making any decisions, you're tiptoeing around, you're waiting for the perfect moment. Newsflash, it's never going to happen. There's no perfect moment. We decide when the moment is, and we take action, and we start somewhere. So I know this might not be the answer people want to hear, but it's so important to just go for it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I've done that before too, where I've definitely, I feel like when we go for it, we either go too narrow and we find, okay, this
Mhm.
pond is more of a puddle, need to expand a bit, or we find that we go way too broad. And so it
Mhm.
is just about getting started, and you will get that feedback.
Yeah.
And it's not that you lost because maybe you went too narrow or you went too broad. It's all a learning experience, and there's no right or wrong way of doing anything. But, like Anna said, just getting it out on paper, writing out, even what you love, what you love about your product or your service, and start
Mhm.
to identify who would really benefit from that. And are you someone, now I always say depends on the type of product or service, because everything's going to be a little bit different, but often I
Mhm.
find in getting started, even just to like take the first step in getting that clarity, is really thinking about like yourself and kind of the person that you would want to work with. And it would be like your best friend or the person that's going to be, and they're
Mhm.
going to be very similar to you. So really it's kind of like defining yourself, but putting it out onto paper.
Yes.
Do you find that is that something that you recommend for
Yes.
people to do too?
Yes. I'm always like telling my clients, like, your ideal client was you 3 years ago or 2 years
Totally.
ago, right? Like, what's the thing that you really wanted to like do and that you wish you had the help or the guidance or the support in during that time period?
Yeah.
So it's look because honestly, when you hire a mentor or coach, there's simply 10 steps like before you. Like they
Yeah.
just figured out a few other things that you haven't yet so they can support you in that journey when you think about it. So don't put so much stress in finding the perfect person. Just think about yourself a few years ago and this is your ideal client. Right?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like with any time that I've had success with, different markets that I'm playing around with, it's really when I get in tune with myself. And I've
Mhm.
even tried out different niches for myself,
Mhm.
like, okay, when I was this person and I needed this thing. And so then I would like test out different niches based on myself and where I was. And then it's
Yeah.
really all around like creating content that speaks to that person that you were
Mhm.
3 years ago, thinking of their objections and the issues that they're going through. So
Yes.
you can create content and or improve your product or service to really hone in and stop feeling like you just have to again hit everybody, because you're going
Yes.
to get nowhere by trying to hit everyone. It's really about narrowing
Exactly.
in and getting focused and clear on that. So
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and I
mhm.
think it's also about like having conversations, right?
Yeah.
Like just schedule some calls, talk to people, ask people what they need, what their challenges are, what's keeping them stuck or keeping them where they're at and they don't seem to be able to move forward. Like what support do they need right now?
Yeah.
And then just create an offer around that. Like it's as simple as asking. And that's what I repeatedly say over and over again. It's like, who have you asked today? Like, what have you, like, put yourself out there, start asking questions. If you're not hearing no, it's because you're not asking enough.
Yes. I agree.
So it's a lot about you getting uncomfortable, asking those questions, getting the feedback. And that's another thing. Like we tend to assume a lot of things, right? And jump to conclusions a lot. But until we have asked and actually gathered that feedback and that data, we don't actually know what people are looking for or what they're struggling with because we might have an idea, but when we actually go to the source, it's a completely different thing.
Yeah, or we launch something and we think it's so great, and then really we don't we it may not be hitting what these people are needing, and so you could improve it if you have, an exit survey or some sort of feedback to gather. How's it going? Even in our group in the Digital Collective, we're always asking like, "Hey, what are you guys needing? How is this working? Like how are you progressing?" Those kinds of things. It's important that you're finding out from your customer base as well,
Mhm.
or maybe it's a product that you have. There's always things that you can do, or maybe they're just not using it properly. Maybe they're not following the course properly or putting to use the product or
Yeah.
whatever it is that you're selling. And they just need more information around how to properly get the best use out of it. And
Yeah.
so it's so important that we're asking for, I mean, I think of uh, feedback as important in
Yes.
literally all aspects of life, whether it's with your team or your business partners or your customers, your family, your friend. Like literally, you should be always asking for feedback, because
Yeah.
feedback gives you information to be able to better whatever it is that you're working on. That could be your relationship, your business, your product,
Mhm.
whatever. So yes, love that you touched on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I wanted to go back to the point where you said that this isn't easy, right? This being an entrepreneur, and you said, you have to get uncomfortable. Being an entrepreneur is not for the lighthearted people that, just want to skate by and not do hard work. And I
Yeah.
know that's none of you guys watching, because if you're following either one of us or this group, or Anna's page or whatever, like
Mhm.
you're someone who wants to work hard, and you know that results don't come overnight and you can't do it by yourself, and that you have to do scary things and set big goals and and
Mhm.
fail. That's a
Mhm.
huge, you have to fail as an entrepreneur. It's literally impossible. I don't know how many times have you failed as an
Woo!
entrepreneur. Even just this,
Countless.
even in this last year, how many times have you failed, right?
Countless times, honestly. Like it's just like a rush being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because one day you can be here like deflated and like beating yourself up, and like you have a fail launch, or nobody showed up for your free master class, or like you can be like so low, and then the next day you have like a 3K day, things are going so amazing, you're on top of the world, right? It's like
Yeah.
such a rush, right? But if we give up on ourselves when things are going hard and it's not easy, like we never can, enjoy when
Mhm.
things are going well. So I feel like being an entrepreneur is being able to hold both dualities
Mm.
and being okay with it, and trusting and having certainty that things will fall into place, right? It's,
Yeah.
it's it's all part of the process. And it's funny that we talk about this, because I just posted about this today
Oh,
on my
funny.
Instagram. So it's so like in alignment. And yeah, like I was reminded today on Facebook Memories, like it's been 3 years since I went live for the first time. And I shared that I remember how like scary it was, how uncomfortable it was. Like my palms were sweating, like my heartbeat was out of this world. Like I thought I was gonna die, you know. What are people gonna say? Are they gonna judge me? Am I gonna say the right thing? And it's like, oh my gosh, I remember when that used to be something so scary, right? And then you just do it again and again and again and again. Over a 3 years period, it becomes so easy. You laugh at yourself for how difficult it was at the beginning, right? But it's all in the repetition. It's all in the, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to show up again and again and again and again, and never give up on myself.
Yeah.
And it's so easy today to go online and see all the millions of dollars, like the big name coaches, and think it was overnight, right? But it's not. And people who say this is easy are lying. And I always keep it real. I
Yeah.
always keep it real. I'm like, this is not easy, but you can do this, right? I did it. You can do it too. It's all about truly believing in yourself, getting that support, and never giving up, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. I always come back with, I say this all the time, and it's like you choose your hard. You
Yeah.
can either live a hard life and be miserable
Yeah.
and like not be meeting your financial goals or your life goals.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's crappy. Or you can eagerly do hard things well and, move on with your life and create amazing
Yes.
things and impact the world and do all these things. So you get to choose. You get to do the really hard work of building your dreams, or stay stuck in the hard life doing
Mhm.
not what you want. And I love that we're kind of already transitioning into the confidence piece. And like,
Yes.
that's a huge thing for me. My business partner, Allie, and I talk about building confidence in yourself and as a business person, because confidence at the end of the day is something that many of us struggle with. We've all struggled
Mhm.
at some point, but it is one of the things that will either help you succeed if you're always working on it, or it will be what holds you back, because
Mhm.
belief is confidence. And if you don't believe in yourself,
Yeah.
if you're not putting in the action because, again, you don't think you're worthy of it, if you think you're an imposter, like all these things stem from a lack of confidence, a lack of belief, which then creates a lack of action. And
Mhm.
it just spirals, and then
Yeah.
you have this unsuccessful business and then an unfulfilling life. So what are some more tips that you can give in terms of building that confidence and that belief in a business and yourself, really?
That's such a huge question. Like I said, try, and try again. But also, it's like I always say to my clients, everyone starts with 0 clients. Everyone starts with 1 follower. Everyone starts with like 0, basically,
Yeah.
And the people who actually, kept going was because instead of focusing like how far they still need to go, they focus on what they've already accomplished.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like shifting that perspective and being like, oh my gosh, right? Like I'm making progress. I created my first lead magnet. I showed up for the first time. I have 100 followers. It's like being so freaking grateful for everything you're accomplishing, no matter how big or small, and then having like that desire for more. So it's like always 1 foot in gratitude and 1 foot in desire.
Yes.
So when you see things that way, it gives you that extra motivation because you're like, yeah, like I'm already doing it. I'm doing the things, I'm showing up, things are starting to move, momentum is starting to be created. I'm having more conversations, people are starting to talk to me, or it's like noticing those little shifts, because those little shifts, like it compounds, right?
Yes.
And sometimes we're planting so many seeds and then we get discouraged when nothing happens, but it takes time for seeds to grow and flourish, right? So start today, start planting all these seeds today and trust that they're going to flourish one day or another. It's going to start happening and you're going to notice it and it's going to be so exciting.
Yeah. And also like with that is planting them and then nurturing them, because so much of what we do in online space is the nurturing part, right? So yes, it's kind of hard to put yourself out there and plant the seeds, but it's definitely more time consuming and takes up more energy to nurture them. But that's where you're going to show your value. That's where you're going to stand out. That's where you're going to be able to really showcase your wins and be proud of yourself. Like, look at this post I did today. Look at these follow-ups I did today. Look at this email I created. Like, look at me go. And again, it doesn't have to be super huge. It doesn't have to be like, I made $1,000. It can be like, I talked to a lead today and I followed up with them. Like, those are the things that absolutely build that confidence, and it totally compounds. Like, think of everything that grows in life. It's a compound. It doesn't just like grow, or you don't just get abs one day. Like, you have to build them, right? But you can't just go to the gym once and be like, I worked out, now I'm going to wait for my abs to come. It's like, no, you got to nurture them. That's the hard part. So
exactly.
Yeah. But I just love that. It's the small things. And it really is. I love that you said like having the gratitude of, where you've come from, all the struggles you've gone through, where you're at right now, like all of those pieces, like giving yourself a literal hug and being like, thank you. Like, you are showing up, like, look at everything you've gone through. And then being like, and how can we get excited for more? Like, what are we capable of? So it's so good. What would you say for people that are, I see this all the time, and it's something that like, it just like hurts my heart, is with the imposter syndrome piece, because so much of that is also related to the confidence piece and what we see online and other creators. And do you have some, advice or insights around someone is going through that and like looking at all these other business people and all these other successful people, and they're like, why can't I be successful? What am I doing wrong? Maybe I'm not cut out for this.
So first of all, there's nothing wrong with you. You are whole, you are worthy, you are loved, you are amazing.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, but until you feel it for yourself deeply and you show yourself that admiration and that love, it's going to be so easy to put your own self down looking at others. And there's also this piece of there's abundance to go around for everyone, right? Until you are able to get out of that scarcity place of, oh my gosh, like if I collaborate, if I show people who I work with, they're going to go with that coach, I'm not going to get any clients. So I see this time and time again, like the competitiveness, but I'm all about collaborating. I'm all about giving women like a platform on my podcast. Like, I do it all for others, right? Because I know there's enough to go around for everyone. and that it's going to come back to me 10 times because I'm giving that opportunity to that person, right? So it's like, first of all, knowing you're worthy, knowing you're amazing, owning that value. Then it's knowing that there's abundance to go around for everyone. And then a thing that I like to give as well as advice is the mute button is your best friend, right? If looking at other people is like bringing you down so much, you can mute them, you can unfollow, do whatever you got to do to just focus on your own lane. That's the other thing. Focus on your lane, focus on where you're at, where you're going, what you're doing. Because if you spend all your time just scrolling, consuming, looking at what people are doing, you're never going to get anything done anyways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
focus on your lane for sure.
Yeah, because there's definitely like there's people out there that inspire you and make you feel good, and like you go and see their content, and you're like you get ideas, you get inspiration, and you just feel lifted up. And then there's others where you're like, oh, it's just eking, and it's like, why are you like you're not getting paid to follow them, so why are you still following them? Like, is it just to really fill your cup full of negativity? Like, it's just not worth it. Or you can, yeah, like mute them or whatever, just so you don't, like, in case you're like friends with them or something. But honestly, there are going to be creators that you're inspired by. So fuel that. But yeah, absolutely look into yourself and say, who can I get rid of in my life? And that maybe is even just family and friends that are negative and bringing you down, because you have to focus. And if you want this, you're going to have to do the hard work. You're going to have to, make sacrifices, and you're going to have to get uncomfortable and get rid of the distractions and the negative pieces that are holding you back.
Yes.
And that's tough, but it's so necessary.
Yes, it is. It is so necessary. It's all about like being true to yourself and being honest and, taking that action and actually unfollowing those people. But yeah, there's just so many ways to go around it. But I feel like it's a lot of like reprogramming, reconditioning, like really going deep, going inwards. Like being an entrepreneur, it's all about healing those parts of you, that needs love, that needs attention. It's a lot of like, I recommend like doing the healing work. For sure.
Yeah, because really being an entrepreneur is being, it's not doing. Like you are or you're not an entrepreneur. And most of you guys who are, following the path of your goals and your dreams, and you're wanting to make an impact, you're wanting to do things, you're wanting to change your life, it's because you know that you've got that spirit, you've got that entrepreneurial energy inside you, and that's a state of being. It's not a state of doing. And yes, you have to take action, yes, you have to do all these things, but it really comes, again, like you said, like comes from within, and healing and realizing like, I am an entrepreneur. Now let's go do it. It's be, do, have, right? And so you be the thing first, then you do the action, then you have the results. And it's so true, right? Like you just have to start looking at yourself and being like, how can I accept myself and be who I want to be so I can do the things and have the things that I want?
Yes, absolutely. 100%. I love that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we've already almost hit the half an hour mark. So I really want to be cautious of your time. I know you're going to like on a trip tomorrow to Punta Cana. Lucky, can you pack me in your bag? Have a layover over in BC. Let's go to the beach. But any other final thoughts that you can give to our rising entrepreneurs, just to help them, and anything you've got going on, where they can follow you, just drop some more gold.
Okay, so my final thought would be to dream bigger. Right? All our lives were like, we've been confined to this like one box, and like now it's time for you to actually go bigger and set yourself bigger goals, like big scary goals, right? Stop settling for less and just go for bigger. And you'll be surprised, you'll be amazed and mind blown by everything you can accomplish in such a short period amount of time. It's insane. Like when you go for it, you set your goals, you get the support, you put in the work, you are the person, you believe you are the person, like we talked about, anything can happen. And that's the other thing. You have to believe that miracles are about to happen. You have to co-create with the universe and ask for it, whatever it is that you want, and trust and have faith that it's coming to you now. Like you're already creating this this space now in your thoughts. So be careful what you're thinking. If you're thinking you're failing right now, that's what you're going to attract more of. If you're thinking you're on the right path, things are happening, momentum is created, you're doing amazing work, you're just going to get more of that, more clients, more amazing things. So keep going. For more golden nuggets, you can come inside my group, the Powerful Female Coaches and Leaders community. I go live there every week. I give so much value. I answer any questions. You can also catch me on my podcast, like we talked about, the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. And yeah, follow me on Instagram at AnnaPatricia.coach. I would love to get to know you better. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Amazing. Yay. Awesome. Okay. Well, we are definitely going to be soaking all that in. And just thank you once again for taking this time. And again, you guys, if you have questions about anything, Anna's going to be in the group for a while, so you can definitely ask her anything, or, you know, send her some love, and definitely check out her other pages there. That's going to be awesome. So again, thank you so much, Anna. Really appreciate you. And yeah, to everyone watching, go kick some butt, dream bigger. Believe in yourself, take action, really implement. Don't just keep watching all this amazing free content from, you know, all these other groups or our paid group. Like, make sure that you are doing that inner work. So what we talked about today, how can you apply it to yourself? And then how can you go take action and stay consistent with it? Because with that, you will undoubtedly in your own journey, because everyone's timing is different, you will reach your goals. It's just a matter of time. Like, that's the exciting part about it, is when you actually implement the things that we talk about. It's not a matter of if, it's when.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Thank you so much again. It was amazing getting to know you.
Yes, you too. Okay, well, have an amazing day and an awesome trip, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.